Okay, Lockhart Road. Lockhart Road had no trees at all until these Ficus benjamina were planted around 1988 to 1990, something like that, as part of the Bonsai greening scheme. Don't confuse that with the Greening Master Plan. The Greening Master Plan came much later, between 2005 and 2010. The Bonsai greening scheme was from late 80s to early 90s. Anyway, Ficus benjamina was planted there, so I reckon that that's 30 years old. And it's looking fantastic. But, you know, all of its compatriots have all fallen over or been removed, either because the branches were growing into the buildings and being very annoying, or they just ran out of root space in the footpath and you know, have just either keeled over or were removed before they keeled over. So the number of Ficus benjamina is reducing year by year. This is one of the ones that's left. Under the Greening Master Plan, we did actually manage to plant the median, right, with these little boxes, concrete boxes. Now, these I think they're 1.5 meter long individual prefabricated concrete boxes that were prefabricated in the mainland and then brought down here and installed. We were not allowed, because of noise regulations, to drill out the concrete in that median. So the railing that was there originally was taken out, sawn down to the ground, and then these prefabricated boxes brought in and fixed with doweling onto the concrete paving. All you can do really, I mean, we tried several types of species of shrub there. Guess what? It's Schefflera arboricola is the last man standing, and so anyway, I mean, it adds a little bit of greenery, you know, but yes, I mean, not one's most magnificent achievement, I suppose. Of course, I planted originally asparagus sprengeri ferns to hang over the edge, and they look great. They look fantastic. Or epipremnum aureum, we had those hanging over the edge, covering the concrete sides of the planters. But Highways Department, Maintenance Department simply will not allow you to have hanging plants dangling over the side of the wall. I don't know quite why. I mean, I've been driving since the 1970s and I still haven't worked out exactly why that's the case. But anyway, now what's happened when those Ficus benjamina do keel over or get removed, we get these little jobs put in instead, right? And look at that, we've got Garcinia subelliptica used as a street tree. Not quite as spectacular, I have to say, as this, but an awful lot safer. I mean, if that falls over, it's not going to hurt you. But anyway, we'll see how they do. I mean, I think they can grow. I mean, even Garcinia can grow taller than this parapet, you know, to the height of the McDonald's logo at least. So anyway, we'll see how they do. But whatever they do, they're not going to be able to achieve what was achieved with these. So what to do, we ask ourselves. Well, the only way really to get over this is to take up some of the, you know, is to use some of the vehicular road space and make it into widen the footpaths and put planting in it, as we saw in Nathan Road, the very southernmost stretch of Nathan Road. That's what they did. You know, it's not terribly complicated, but you have to give up one lane of road space and hand it over as footpath and tree planting area. Anyway, we'll see whether that ever happens or not. Not looking hopeful at the moment. And while I'm up here, we've got these bougainvillea spectabilis. I'm not showing you these because I think they're fantastic specimens. They're not fantastic specimens, but amazingly they're hanging on in here, right? Now this is a relatively old footbridge. It wasn't built with with the loading. It wasn't built to take any additional loading. So this is the maximum loading that the engineers would permit on this footbridge. So they built these steel boxes on the side of the railing, right? Fixed these onto the side of the railing. You can see that they've been bolted. They're bolted onto the railing there, right? And then inside the steel box, you've got actually what is just a plastic window box, that you can buy in any garden centre, and then the bougainvillea fixed in there, and then you can see there's a kind of a cage-like structure to stop people nicking it, right, or picking it up and dropping it on the street. But it allows the maintenance people to take the whole window box out with the plants and replace it with new plants in the window box if that's necessary. One other small thing I want to mention is the drainage, right? Drainage, as usual, critical. But at the same time, highways are neurotic about drips of water coming out of planting boxes onto the traffic. I don't quite know why, because there is such a thing as rain, when an awful lot of water falls out of the sky onto cars. But anyway, so they won't allow you just to have, holes in the bottom of the window box and the steel box and let the water just drip through. So there's a little pipe there taking the water into the drainage channel at the top of the wall there. Make sure there's no dripping onto the road. Anyway, bougainvillea spectabilis. Not the most magnificent specimens, but to be honest, you have to give them credit, that they're surviving here at all, because this is a pretty tough place to grow. I think the watering is carried out by hand here. Somewhere they do have water points on the bridge, and then it's done by hand, but I don't know how often that happens. Not that often. Anyway, some of the trials and tribulations of planting in intense urban areas, Lockhart Road.